Hi everybody. Today we're going to see how I draw IG-11 from the Mandalorian. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll see a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. There's even going to be one with color, for color. For those of you that are sticking around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and for you and get us there so we can have some good old bounty hunting time. Alright, so this one's going to be interesting because I'm going to be making this up a lot. The show's not out yet. I don't know much about IG-11 besides that from what I know of IG-88. So I'm only just gonna, be making this up, and the other thing is, it's robot parts. So we are 100% making this up as we go, and nobody could tell us we're wrong. So, granted, I'm not just gonna put crazy stuff in there that doesn't exist, or I might. The problem is, what I'm trying to say is, all I'm going to be doing is drawing a bunch of squares and connect them. That's really about it. That's all I can do because I don't know what he looks like. I got pictures of, off the internet, and there's not much at this point because, like I said, it's way before the show, and there's not a lot of detail. So I'm kind of making it up, and just forgive me, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because I can only go so far and make up so much. So it's very, very much artistic license. Okay. And the other thing is, I just realized too, I didn't bring any weapon images, so I'm kind of going off what the IG-11, all that stuff. I'm trying to go off what it looks like from memory. So yeah. So all right. So all that being said, welcome to the show. Welcome to us trying to figure this out. But that's what we're here for. We're having fun. That's why we're the creators. We're the ones who get to decide. You know what? This is how I want to do it. This is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we will laugh with each other and meet somewhere in between. So, I'm glad you're all here. All right, so let's see what I can do here. I think something like that. Let me find. Right now I'm looking at a picture of IG-88, so now I got to try to find a picture of IG-11 and try to play around with the way he looks. Pretty much the same thing, right? It's an IG robot, but oh, you know what? Let's see. I wonder if I can have him kind of like looking back, or no? How about looking at you? Something like that. Is he looking at you? I mean, we don't know. Again, we don't know anything about these guys, like the way they look or anything like that. So I'm assuming he's looking at you. Are you? I don't know. But they're cool. Love these characters so much. Him, Boba Fett, all those characters. They were barely even in anything, but they're so awesome. They're so fun and intriguing. It's like, we kind of create this whole excitement and thrill just by looking at the characters, So, you know what? That might be all I can do. I think this sketch is as far as I'm going to go, and we're going to make up the rest with just drawing squares and connecting them. That's all I can say. So, good luck. Good luck, everybody. Challenge accepted. Ooh, what is that? Okay, so I'm going to erase just a little bit just so it doesn't stand out over the Sharpie, and then we'll switch over to Sharpies. Okay, he's kind of in an action pose. So, okay, let's welcome the skippers. All the people that skipped over to this section. I appreciate and love that everybody's here, and I just like to acknowledge that. So, welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. The skippers are the people that skip to this section. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and the Sharpie pen, which is not this. This is a pencil. This is a Sharpie pen, and it's a little finer than the fine point, and I use it for finer detail. I don't think I'm going to use it right away. Maybe. Okay, so basically I sketched the entire thing out and I erased a little bit of it so it's nice and faint. I made a ghost with my own special computer, and I'm gonna start off, and what I was talking about in the sketch is that I don't know what this looks like. All I have are images from the internet. That's like 2 or 3 pictures. That's about it. I've got because the show isn't out yet, so I'm kind of making this up as I go. So thank you for being here, thank you for putting up with me, and just take it with a grain of salt that I know what I'm doing, because I'm just kind of making this up. Okay, so I'm going to start off with his bandoliers. Those I know he has. I've seen those in the picture. I know what those look like. I'm going to put those in first. Okay, so but the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to come up here like this, and again, I'm going by my sketch, so I know it looks like it's kind of floating, but I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to go ahead and do something like this, just to give me some defined edges. Now, there are little squares like that I'm going to come back and do in a second, but I just wanted to give him this part right here. And the squares, they are connected, but I like the way they look, so I'm just going to kind of do something like this. Follow the sketch that I had, but this way they're going to stand out a little bit more than if I just were to draw lines down. And so see what I mean? It looks like almost like compartments, you know what I mean? Something like that. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here, just because I can, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, we'll meet somewhere in between. Okay, so now I'm just gonna, again, just draw a few squares, rectangles, I guess is what they are. Like that, just to show that it's a different level, a little different something, you know? And this is the one that's underneath, and it's going to flow back up like that. This one's going to go up like that, but of course we're going to hit the body there, so we're going to stop before we go into that. So now bear with me, the rest of it I'm making up as I go. I'm looking at pictures, but he's robot parts, you know, so I'm going to take a guess at a lot of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to draw his chest up something like this. And again, let's go on this side. We're going to kind of go up something like this. And let's see, he's got these other parts that kind of do something like that. And again, remember, I'm just making this up. So if you want to, you know, add a little bit more for yourself, make it look a little different, you go for it. This is, like I said, this is us making IG-11 look the way we want. And it's a robot, so you're kind of, you have freedom to get creative. You can do whatever you want here. So he's got these little like almost like a collar that kind of comes up like this, and then he's got these pieces going across like that, something like that. And again, I'm just making this up, so you know, do what you want to do. So he's got his neck. I'm going to come up like this, and again, I'm kind of following my sketch. Going to close it off. Going to come up here, do another one, and it's kind of got that, you know, that wide angle going out Tin Man look. And I'm going to kind of play around with some, oop, look, that's not even doing anything, some line widths if I can touch. That wasn't even doing anything. I already messed that up. All right, so I'm going to draw some circles like that. And there's like a little bit of an inside, kind of something like that inside there. It looks, but you know what's funny, because you don't know what I'm doing, that just looks like a screw, you know, like a bolt. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, kids. Okay, so here's his eyes, I guess. Again, don't know what's going on here. Don't know if these are eyes. Don't know if these are just bolts on his face, or if that's even his face. What I was talking about in the sketch is we know nothing about these characters. We know that there was an IG-88. We know what the 88 droids are for and whatnot. And we're going to see what happens when the show comes out. So for now, we're just kind of playing around with what we got, okay? So I'm just going to kind of follow his head shape. And I'm just kind of playing around with grooves and notches while I'm working my way up to his little Tin Man hat. Okay. How's yours looking? Awesome. All right, and so again, he's got more detail that, yeah, I'm just making it up as I see and kind of playing around with what's on his face, you know? But again, these are just, you know, robot parts, so feel free to do what you want to do. I'm going by the sketch. I'm going by what it looks like on here. But again, I'm also not. I'm kind of making it up, you know? So do what you want. Do what makes you happy. Because you know what? This is what makes me happy. So you might as well do what makes you happy. Make it your own, you know? All right, I like that. So just those little greeblies, those tiny little things like that made it perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And we've got little notches and grooves and fun stuff. And I'm gonna do one more, just kind of like that, just to make it come alive, just to give it some detail, you know? All right, I love it. I love it already. Even if that's all I ever did, I'm gonna be happy with that alone right there. Okay, so let's build onto him here. So let's see. Let me find his waist, and he's got kind of like these like I think they're sticks of dynamite. They're not, but they're like these. Sticks of dynamite, like I said, they're just these weird little pistons or long tubes, you know, that are, and look, that already bought us a lot of room that we can build off of this, and we already used up a lot of real estate right there, so we don't have to worry about too much about, well, what goes there and what's here, you know. So I'm just kind of playing around with some shapes, again, just to come up with some stuff, just to make something, you know. And this will just, again, this is just adding some detail to make it to break up the monotony, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and we'll come back to that in a second. I'm gonna let that lay and see how that goes. I like that. I like where we're going. And let's add a hose right here. How's that? You know, something a little robotish. So it's not just all on his body. He's got things hanging off and moving out, and, you know, and keeping him wired in together. All right, cool. So let's draw his arms. So he's got these weird, like piston arms. That again, we're just making it up. And here's the other crazy thing. I don't know how they're going to do this. He normally doesn't have a lot of movement. I'm adding movement to him that he normally doesn't have. So I'm just going to kind of do something like this to kind of make it work. So I basically added a place he doesn't have, is what I just did, like that. Okay. So let's do it over here too, so we don't forget where we are. And I'm going to, oops, I should have been in like that. Like that. Booyah! Happy. That's awesome. I love what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'm going to come back here like this. I'm going to make kind of like a ball joint like that and go in there like this. And then I'm going to come out here and I'm going to just kind of add a little bit of extra just to make him, you know, come alive, make it different. And connect his arm right here like that. And I'm going to add a few more little parts, just a bit, because I'll say this, he's very flimsy. I have no idea how he's still working because he should have fallen apart a long time ago, because his joints are super tiny. Do any of you guys collect the Black Series figures? I do, and I've got the IG-11, and all these parts are super flimsy. I don't know how he's still together, but it's super fun. So okay, so now I'm gonna do his arm like this, and look, it's not straight, but that's okay, no big deal. That's just who he is. Don't make fun of him. Okay, I'm going to draw one digit like that, and it's going to be going around the gun, and that's where it's holding it. So I'm going to wait to draw. No, let's draw it now. Let's see if I can pull this off. Let's try to find, let me see if I can find a decent picture of the, is it the E11? Is that what it's called? That's the blaster? Let's see if I can pull this off. And it's funny because they're just kind of hanging in his hand. Okay, kind of like that. I can make this work. I can make this work. I'm gonna do a long barrel like that, and then I'm gonna close it in like that. And let's see, we're gonna do the underside, something like this, and then make the back come up like this. Something like that. All right, not bad, not bad. You know, could be better. But like I said, for drawing one of these just from memory, I'm very happy with that. I can live with that. Again, we're just going to add little fun stuff just to make it come alive. Okay. We're great there. Let's move over to this side. So I'm going to do like I did over there. I'm just going to draw like the little round part like I did there, going up into that. That's how I'm kind of getting away with drawing parts that don't exist, because this is how I draw. Remember, I can make it up as I go. I can say, well, that's prove me wrong. The only one who could prove me wrong, well, I take that back. I was about to say like Ian McCaig or Doug Chang, but they didn't create the IG-88 or 11, so I can't challenge them on that. So look at those little digits. Look at those little itty bitty tiny little spots. How is he holding a gun? It's ridiculous, but it's awesome at the same time. So not going to challenge it. Let me see if I can find that big long barrel gun. Let's see what he's got. I can't never remember the name of that one. Let's see. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let me see if I see it. Well, that might work. Let me try to draw it like that. So, okay, so I'm going to put the trigger in his finger like that, put the handle out like this, come up like that. This one's pretty thick. And do like that. Draw a little bit of a bottom. And this one's going to be kind of like this, something like that, and it's got a bunch of holes in it, which I should be doing with color, but let's do it. Let's have some fun. We're the ones that are creating today, right? Let's see, and there's also like this weird little scope thing on top, something like that, and then we're gonna draw the big old huge handle. That, and we'll just draw like a bunch of little pieces like that, just to give it something for the inside. Okay, all right, so I'm very happy with this. Let's see if I can find some more pictures of IG-88 and I can build off of that. Okay, so I see some tubes and stuff I want to draw first. Let me draw those and then I can draw the other parts. So they're going to be kind of floating. Well, no, I'm not going to draw them floating. I'll take care of that. So I'll do something like this for like his legs, and that'll help you. Well, this one's over. I guess I can't do that. So I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to draw something like this, connect it, and then I can do it over. So this one I'm going to have up, because his leg is going to be up on this one, and I have the tube over that, so I had to make sure I drew it first. Okay, all right, something like that. So now again, we're just going to kind of make this up. So I'm just gonna do something like this, see what happens. And that's kind of the fun part about making this up is no one can tell us we're wrong, and I can do whatever I want robot wise. So see, that's what I'm saying. I was drawing a bunch of squares and lines and rectangles and who knows what, you know, because this is a robot and we're making it up as we go. Sort of. I am going by the actual robot pictures, so it's not too made up. Okay, so here's that tube that I wanted to do over here. And again, I wanted this on top, so that's why I wanted to do it first, kind of like I did with that one. And so now I'm just going to draw some pistons and some parts for his legs. And he's got kind of a big bolt for this leg that I can kind of get away with. Now see, what's funny is I wanted to draw that first so I wouldn't bleed through, but I ended up bleeding through. It happens. What are you gonna do? You just keep moving on. You know what I see too? Let's see if I can thicken this up just a bit. But I see a piston on the side of his leg that's kind of thin. So I think I want to do it with this Sharpie. So look at it, it was pointless. It bled anyway, you know? What are you gonna do? All you can do is just play with what you got and just keep creating, you know? So this one has some really cool bolts. And I'm kind of doing the same thing that I'm doing this where I'm like, you know what? I should just not worry about that kind of stuff. Sometimes I overdo it. I'm like, you know, I'm trying to do it like this so I can draw those bolts over this line. But does it really matter? You know, it's kind of like what I was talking about for the other part. It's like all this stuff. I was like, you know, we're making it up. It doesn't matter. It's not that important. Sometimes if you're getting paid to do this, it is, and you take your time. But I'm trying to go fast. I'm trying to give you guys something to do, and I know this takes a long time, so I'm trying to work fast and just make it up. So maybe I shouldn't be worrying about all the little detail like that. You know, we should just keep moving forward. So that being said, I'm going to move forward with this leg, and basically that's all we're doing, like something like that, because again, he's a robot and he's got his parts, but there's not much to it, you know. Okay, so let's draw this foot, and he's just got these big goofy appendages that are just big like what do you call them, tripods. Not even tripods, that's not even the right word. I don't know why I said that. They're like big triangles, pods, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but they're just these big goofy clunky feet. His shoes are made by Clonk. They're clonkers. He clonks around. Okay, so same thing over here. We're just gonna draw some pistons. Just draw something like that, you know, kind of connect them, and I'm gonna do that over here, but I'm gonna do like this. I'm just gonna kind of do something like that, make it a little bit more quick and fast, and not worry about those tiny little details, because again, this is a robot. And look, that worked too. I did all that work. That just went like that, super fast. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna draw kind of a big bolt like we had over there, something like that. I'm just gonna kind of connect that, and then just draw his pegs that we have. So there's his clonks. Draw something over like that. Big clonks. And come down, down. That's where it's open like that. And close this off. Draw a couple of robotic circles. A couple of clonks, you know. Something like that. Well, let's go ahead and just add something like that, just to give it some robot, you know. There we go. Okay, so I say we take care of the rest with color. I think that came out fantastic. That is IG-11 from the Mandalorian. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here, and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.